Evening all, I think we're live. If we are, please give us a thumbs up under the video and I know it's working, or type something in the comments. That'd be marvellous. I'm just looking at some photos Pete Williamson's just sent me. The days when I had hair. Good grief. We just respond to that. And somebody else just sent me a picture as well. Okay, I'll deal with it later on. Evening Laura. Right, so Instagram's going a bit mad. I just posted up a picture of all the stuff that's just come in. Evening David. If you haven't seen, here we are. I'm on the old Instagram. Let's just refresh it because I'll just scroll down a bit. This load of stuff literally came in about an hour ago. If I click on that, does it make the picture bigger? I think it does. There you go. Anyway, some lovely stuff that will be going up next week on the website. Mills Lionhead, Little Kaylee. Excuse me, Bandit. Lovely Build Extraordinary. Another Castle Front, a Chief. A Paul Ravender. A little Liberty Bell, Gretchen Liberty Bell trade stim with a ball gun vendor. Triple Jacks, real ones, all the lovely original stuff. An Imp, another poker reel. And what was the other trade stim? Can't see on the picture. A little Imp. Who made those? Bally, wasn't it, I think? And a Challenger shooter. Lovely, lovely stuff. All fresh into the country, all working, all got locks, keys, everything. Really, really nice batch of stuff. So, yeah. Sort your piggy banks out. And as I say, I'll get this up in the coming week gradually. There's a lot of work obviously to do to get it all photographed, videoed, blah blah blah. But hopefully by sort of the end of the week it'll be on. There's more stuff coming on Tuesday as well. So there we go. Evening Peter and Paul. Where's the website gone? Yeah, so tonight there's a whole load of stuff finishing, spares principally, and coins. So have a check through, make sure there's nothing that you don't need for your restoration projects down the shed. Lots of coins as well, sixpences, pennies, tokens, threes. I thought there were some American coins there somewhere, perhaps there wasn't. They might be finishing next week. Yeah, and I got a load more spares to put on as well. I kind of left it a little while to get through some of these, otherwise the spares page would end up just so long that the stuff would kind of get lost. You never find anything. But there's more spares to come also. So keep your eye on that. If you haven't tuned in the week, what did we add on new this week? Some wall cards and things, and just relisted these machines that didn't go before Christmas. There's better descriptions this time around of the Pilwin and the hoops in particular. There's all videos for them all, and they're all here in Cambridge if you want to come and have a look at any of them. So that's that lot. Have a look back at that in a minute. We've had lots more photos and stuff sent in. It seems to be a bit of a hit with people, which is good. So it's coming in faster at the minute, and I can sort of sort things out, which is great. So as I say, I am, in amongst everything else, building a new bit of the website to put all this stuff on. This sort of archivey picture type stuff. Let me go over here and do this. And it's quite interesting. We're actually trying to find out stuff in these photographs of what things is, and we found another one out. So this, I asked Peter, what was this mystery machine? Evening Peter, in this photograph that Peter Cousin sent in, a Scarborough, and we now know what that one is. I click onto the next picture. Who sent this in? Gary Wilden, I think, sent this one in. Cutting from somewhere or other. Interesting, it says Crafts Automatic, Mark Craft Wright, and I'm in the way of the picture, but I think it says, and son Derek demonstrate their auto fruit machine. Now, I thought these auto fruits were all made by Jameson, but I could be wrong. Maybe they were Craft then. You notice on the top there's obviously a trade stand at a trade show somewhere. It's got Rotolite, Rotopool, Bingola, Roto Fruit, and Electro Dart. They're machines that over the years I've always thought, and I think others have, are Jameson. They often have Jameson badges on them. But this clip from wherever Gary got it from, I'm not sure if he's on tonight or if he's at work, but anyway, I'll find out. I'm seeing Gary on Tuesday. May prove differently. But anyway, the point is, it's another machine that we've now found. So in due course, I'll make a page for that. So it seems to be a 6-player version of the War Machine. Yes, I assume it's 6 players. It might be, looking at the angles of the photograph, it might even be 5. Don't know. Interesting. And with the dome on top. So whether they made them for all their, this picture seems to be that it looks like it's got the same front in each of them. With fruit, obviously, because it says it's auto fruit, and you can see in the picture that it's the fruit machine. But the other, this one, looks, from what you can see of the slot machine glass, it looks like a different machine. So whether they made one for all of the ones they made War Machines for, don't know. Maybe you could have different fronts in them, like with a Brian's 4-square type idea, or the Ollie Wales 6-sided all wins. Interesting, isn't it? Mr. Treefrog says Craft were a reseller for Jameson stuff and often had Craft badges on. And Pete says, it's been driving me mad trying to find out what that is. So there we are. So yeah, as I say, I always thought they were Jameson machines. But obviously been on the Craft trade stand somewhere then. Because it comes back to what we were saying about those Ruffer and Walker machines, wasn't it? Last night, the night before last, whenever it was. Let me just try and find them on the website in a minute. Yeah, these, I'll just go back over to the website. We were looking at things like Derby Day. Hang on a minute, if I zoom into this a bit, I'll make the shot a little bit better. I'll just do that and scroll down them. Don't know if you can see if these are big enough, if not I'll zoom into them. But Derby Day, the Le Mans, the Twinkle Toes, yeah, those 3 in particular. I think I'd got one down as that we'd sold with, had a Ruffer and Walker badge on it. I can't remember which one it was. But we were speculating as to who made them. Now I noticed that they'd all got, because I think I've got one down as an unknown maker, one down as Ruffer and Walker, and one down as, was it Craft? Can't remember that looking back at the video. But we didn't really know who actually made them. Assuming Ruffer and Walker were just resellers because they didn't really make anything. But notice they'd all had the same, exactly the same cabinets and the same payout cups on. There we go. Another little mystery to solve, maybe. Just put that back down to 100%. And go back over to here. So yeah, so there's that one. So thanks to Gary. I don't think he's on tonight. He's probably at work, but no doubt he'll catch up in due course. Then these, Peter sent this one in. I've seen before somewhere. The Greyhound Derby. And said, what is the machine then to the left of that? With a great big octagonal top flash on. Now, we sold the top flash to one of those machines years ago, which Paul Mitchell has in his arcade up on the wall. So hopefully Paul will tell us what it is, because I can't remember what it's called. So the top bit exists, at least. And then the machine to the very left of that, I can't make out quite what that is. On the very left of the screen there, just about see the top flash. But yeah, that was a fruit something or other. Mr. Treefox said, I've got flyers for that and posted on Penny Machines. Flyers for which? Sorry, because there was a slight delay between what I'm now seeing on my screen and the comments coming in from the other end. So if you're flicking through things, if you're typing a message and referring to a machine, if it helps if you just put in which machine you're referring to, because I might have flicked my end onto the next picture, if you see what I mean. But if you've got any flyers that you've already got scanned in, you can send over to me, that'd be great, or point me to the link. And I can perhaps download them from there and add them on here. So yeah, that octagonal fruity toppy thingy was a really nice bit of artwork. You might even have seen it in the back of one of, if you look in the video, little thing we did in Paul's Arcade, the little promo, you might even spot it in the back of the video. I haven't had time to look to see. Been a bit busy today. Anyway, so there's that one. Now these are a batch of photos Adam Brown sent me, and I might turn myself off in a minute. So I'm going to be obscuring the pictures. You don't want to look at me when you can look at nice pictures. Of various 70s arcades, which, if I've made the notes in the right order, which I probably haven't, let me try and see. So this one, New Pence Casino, is June 1973. I was saying before about these travelling arcades, the problem with them is they've often got a name on the front of them, but they also often don't have the showman's name on them. It'd be nice to try and track down who owned what and when. If anybody does recognise any of them, by sheer chance, it probably will be by sheer chance, but let us know. So you've got roulette there, 1p, nice top flash on that one. Got a girl sitting in a champagne glass or something. I'm not sure that's the first version, it probably is, of the roulette. So there's that one. And the next one is John's New Pence Casino. Well done, John. When I upload these onto the website, when I've made the right page for them, I will do my best to try and you know, highlight them, zoom them in a little bit, and brighten them up a little bit in Photoshop, whatnot, to get the very best out of them we can. You know, obviously appreciate these are 40, 50-year-old photographs, often taken at the time just as snaps on someone's camera, taking, you know, general pictures of the fair or whatever. They weren't necessarily trying to take pictures of the machines, which is what we're now trying to see. So we'll do the best we can with them. This is the same arcade built up bigger. Yep, the New Pence Casino as this one. So New Pence Casino, and we've got, so it's John's New Pence Casino, whoever John was. And a bit further on, we've got Treble Chance. And this, but this one is supposed to be October 74, so a little bit later on. The roulette there again. Shooter, low, they look like Jubilees or Aristocrats in there. Kind of shiny chromey bandit. Evening Gym. And then the next one is the Diamond Horseshoe. Have I got a date on that one? Don't think I have. But it's going to be that same. Hang on, should I just turn me off a minute? Where's my button? Is that one me? Oh, there we are. That's better. Yeah, roulette again, 1p, Crompton's Cakewalk. What's the one on the other end with the wings, top flash on, whatever that is. And then another arcade next to it. So yeah, frustrating you can't see them, isn't it? But, good images, I like them. I think they're kind of quite intriguing. Okay, oops, didn't mean that button. I want this button, that button. Next arcade, there we are. The Castaway Casino. Now this one is October 74 by the Woolpack Hotel somewhere or other. So there's a vague chance that somebody might be able to track this one down, tell us where it is. A Castaway is interesting spelling. Casteway rather than castaway, like a castaway on a desert island, as it were. So Castaway, I wonder whether caster was a play on the showman's name, perhaps, or something. Be interesting to know, wouldn't it? Very busy, packed. Too packed to see any of the machines, unfortunately, but never mind. So there's that one, and then we've got, in a minute, I'm juggling a lot of screens here on my computer at the minute to try and make all this work, so apologies if it goes horribly wrong, which it probably will, because it usually does. Right, then this one. Oh, excuse me, I was about to sneeze. Zooming in this one at the moment, I just thought, I'm going to get me out of the way again. It was quite a nice shot as it was with the juvenile and the hooplas. We'll do a lot more fairground stuff later on when I've got the fairground stuff, the fairground section of the site, you know, stuff for sale basically. But yeah, so I zoomed into this one as tight as I could to get all the arcade in. See, by the time you zoom in, everything goes horribly out of focus, unfortunately. But good evening, Scruffy Herbert. Thank you, Kevin. You can see we have got an auto gift here on the right. Rose Shiny Bandits. And a Penny Falls in the back there through the. You just spot through all the toys on the toy set there. That one is June 1973 again. So bear in mind these are just about 50 years old, these pictures. Nearly as old as me. Worrying, isn't it? Kevin says, think that may be at Chalkwell Park. Ah, which one, I wonder? Let us know which one. I'll ping you a message afterwards or something. It'll be easier. So once these are all up on the website, there'll be you know, a page with them all on and a button again to add more info or something. So if you do happen to recognise where one is, or the one on the screen at the moment, okay. So the trouble is there's always a slight delay between what you're seeing and what I'm seeing my end, but it's been up there for a while a minute, so I assume you mean this one with the Ladybird ride in front of it, not on the right. Yeah, so when they're up on the website, when I've finished making the page up, with each of these pictures there'll be a button to add information or something. So if you do recognise where one is, or you perhaps know who the showman was who owned it, or any information about any of that, just click the button and fill in the form, sort of thing. Hopefully we'll gradually put some information together on each of the photos, tie things together. So that was that one. The next one, click this little button here, is Casino Classic. Casino Classic, this is October 78. Very smart flares there on that gentleman in the foreground. A bit of an early video in there. Bit of main wind on the top, marvellous. This one is Jovis Cam Motor Engineers. So might be able to track down where that one was. Might be a bit of a clue. Duckham service on there, I could sell that. Paratrooper in the background. So again, it's another one of those who's got, you know, a bit of a grand name on the arcade, but no idea who the showman's name. But Casino Classique, very nice. And that's that one, and then the next one. Hang on just a moment. While I find the right button, I've mixed something up here. Bear with me a tick. Here we are. That worked. Yep. So this next one is Lucky Strike. This is 1976. We've got in there Governor or Chief Governor, I think. Sega light ups, Challenger on the left there. More Segas. Bellfruit, etc. So again, it's probably a photograph I can do something with. I can't remember, this one was, Adam sent this in, but I'm not sure. I don't think this one was one of his. Oh yes it is, I think. No it's not. I think it's somebody else's that Adam was allowed to send this in. So I'm not sure. Some of these I'll be able to put on the website, some of them I might not be, just depends who owns them basically. But where we can, I'll try do my best to say to enhance the photos as best it can be. Just so we can see into them a little bit more, and you've got, you know, a bit better resolution than you're getting out of YouTube. So that's what one was that? That was Lucky Strike 1976. There we go. And then the next one we've got is a rather nice, a Dreadnought. For those who don't know, Dreadnought is basically I think a traditional round hoopla stall, fairground round hoopla stall, cut in half, stretched. That's what we call a Dreadnought. So you get a lot more machines in. This one is 1975. There's quite nice artwork on it. Mid-70s nonsense. Adam says, it's one chapter collection owned by me and someone else separately, 800 slides in all. R. Webster was his name. It's mostly the Black Country area. Yeah, so that should help us narrow things down a little bit. Who knows, somebody just might recognise some of the locations. Obviously these photos are kind of cropped into them a little bit, just to centre on the actual arcade itself. And actually, when I put them on the website, some of the photographs there's a bit more background with some buildings in or whatever, where the fairs are in the town. So again, somebody just might be able to spot, oh yeah, that's such and such a town centre or whatever. But for the purposes here for the moment, I thought you'd be more interested in seeing the arcade themselves. But yeah, there we are. I quite like the panels on that one. Very Fred Fowley, whether they are Fred or not, probably are. It's 75, they probably are Fred Fowl. So that's that one, and then the next one is, I think I've mixed the labels up here in a minute. So this one, Amusements on Tour. This one is 1977. Again, this one was a bit bigger photographic. You actually sort of see the whole church, so it might be somebody might be able to recognise it from that. We've got the roulette in there and blue machine. Not sure what that is. Looks like a don't know, some kind of table machine. Looks like a, not an ice hockey, but a one of those things where you knock the puck backwards and forwards. Can't know what you call it. Anyway, one of them. Brian's in the background there, we can just see on the back wall of the arcade. Yeah. So that one is 77. Air hockey. Thank you, Gavin and Peter. It's good job somebody knows, isn't it? It's the trouble when you get old, you forget things. Air hockey, yes. There we go. They all know apart from me. Right, so that's that one. And the next one is just catches the corner of this one, because obviously it was a picture of the cakewalk was what the photographer was taking. Nice, it looks like a little juvenile whip in the background there as well. I've only just noticed in between the cakewalk and the whip rub with the machines on. But you'll notice on this particular one, Adam spotted, on the extreme right is sort of cut in half of the picture, but on the very right of the picture is an Allwyn with an orange and white backflash on it, kind of a Brian's style backflash, but just orange and white stripes. And we sold one of those to Adam some weeks ago or a couple of months ago, and it's looking at it, it is, not sure if it is the exact same machine, but definitely by the same maker. The payout cup and everything is all in the same place, in the same shape. I'll just find that up on the old website here. What do we have that down as? Probably just sort of Allwyn's General or something, because I don't think I know who made it. Got to find it now. Found it the other day. Got that many Allwyns, I don't know the name of at the moment. Is it this one here? Yeah, here we are. I've got it under Allwyn's various unidentified at the moment. If I just ping you back over to the website a tick. So if you're looking at the Allwyn's page, it's this one. Allwyn's various unidentified. This one here. So it's got BMCO spandrels in the corners. Quite an interesting coin slot. The ball gallery strand looks very kind of Briansy the way that's done, and the little bits at the end that catch the balls, they're kind of very Briansy. Interesting, very square hinges, and quite a distinctive payout cup. But yeah, so that machine is basically back to here. What you see on the very right of there, I think the only difference is the one on in this photograph hasn't got the spandrels in the corners, but whether they were just added on later, someone just jazzing it up, because they're BMCO pattern ones. Don't know. Interesting. So that one is, have we got a date on that one? 1980, that photograph. Then this next one's my favourite one. You'll see why. Wish my teak is going cold. Put that over there. Here we go. This one, very nice. This is Arnold Brothers arcade. It's another one, again, when I put it on the site, I'll zoom into it a bit tighter. I'm pretty much trying to make 2 or 3 photographs at it, but I thought it was just so nice just to see the whole thing there, because you zoom much tighter, you can't really read what the machines are, unfortunately. It's just how photo resolution is, so you can't really see anymore, even tightly zoomed in, unfortunately. But so lovely stuff there. Nice artwork on the arcade itself. Really like it. So right on the extreme right, we've got a grip tease machine. I've operated one of those. I own one of those. Good fun thing. And some more Win Deluxes, some pin tables. That's punch ball. There's in there, sort of in the. You can't see where my point is pointing, but in the central, underneath the center A, if you like, inside the machine, inside the arcade, sorry, just sort of the first machine you can see, there's a lady looking at, a fortune teller. It's one of the BMCO ones, one of the kind of the 3D models in, but I can't quite read what the top flash on is, which is particularly annoying because I collect them. I don't know if I've got any photographs of them up at the moment. I've got a couple of different ones. Fortune tellers, let me just have a look. Card vending. Not sure there's any photographs of any of them up at the moment on the website, but there will be in due course, and I can actually get to mine to photograph them. No, there's not. There's one in Carter's book. It's like a gypsy encampment, sort of 3D model. There's various ones made. I've got 2 monks sitting at a bench in a monastery. Very odd, to tell your fortune. And I've got the postman's love letters or something, which is a pretty one. It's like the front of a house with a postman delivering letters. I think the lady's in a garden at the front of the house or something. It's a really sweet one. There's X-ray photography one, which is a man with a camera on a tripod, sort of a big plate camera. So there's a few of them, these 3D model ones, and that one doesn't appear to be any of those. I think it's a different one again, which is particularly interesting to me, probably not of anybody else, but yeah, you just never know what's about, do you? Adam says, I can lend the negative if you'd like to try for a better resolution. It might be worth a go, yeah. I might have to look into getting a proper negative scanner. A really, really high resolution one. It's surprising how much information is on negatives, on older negatives. They were bigger than more, you know, sort of 35mm we used in the 80s or whatever. So yeah, I'll look into that. We'll see how sharp we can get in them. I think looking at them, they'll probably start to go out of focus anyway, but we might just be able to get a little bit more detail in them. For my own amusement, on that one particular machine, nothing else, just to try and read the name on the top flash would be nice. But yeah, great picture, love it. Very good one. And then also Adam sent us from the same batch of photographs this one of, again, as I've zoomed in, it's a little bit wider, but it was just this horse principally. Champion the Wonder Horse. It looks like it's got a very interesting mechanism on it, which kind of looks like the horse probably went backwards and forwards quite a long way rather than just rocking slightly. So it's probably quite a good fun ride, that. Probably overly energetic. We probably had numerous kids off banging their heads on the ground. So, but yeah, nice thing. Nicely moulded horse on it. Jim says, happy to help with any neg scanning up to 6x6. Oh, excellent. I might not need to buy a neg scanner. Even better. So yeah, we'll look into that. Thank you very much. So yeah, Champion the Wonder Horse. So I think that was that batch from Adam. So most of those will go up on the website in due course. The ones that Adam owns is very kindly said we can use. The other ones that he doesn't own, we're working on, and hopefully the gentleman that owns them might let us use them. Be nice too, because it's nice to try and, you know, just try and piece together the history, really. Anyone who owns these photographs, it's kind of, it's nice to know what's on them, isn't it? And by sticking them up on a site like this, rather than the people who are more into the fairground stuff are not necessarily always interested in the machine so much. So some of the other fairground sites might not get such a response, but I suspect here because we have such a concentration of slot machine collectors, etc. We hopefully might, just find some information. People might recognise them, and they might have took a picture themselves, they might remember whether there was a kid in their town, whatever. So there we are. So that's those. Moving on then from those arcades to the next few pictures. Let me just click the right button. Are two versions of the machine, and we sold a third version of it, which is quite interesting. So Peter Cousins sent us these ones. So the Rex Rotor, which he said looked very similar to the Toto machine. So it could be made by the same people. So Rex Rotor, 3-reeler wall machine with a big distinctive crown on the top of it. And then also a quite curvaceous countertop. And presumably cast alley, I would imagine. Nice polished up bits, very smart looking machine. But we also sold, if I can find it on the website, a few years back, a console model of this. Let me just try and find it. Let's go over to the website a minute. Multi-reel machines, 3-reel machines, Rex Rotor R. Rex Rotor, here we are. Yeah. So it's that same top casting, but in a, oops, click the right button would help, wouldn't it? In a full console cabinet. 2015 we sold that one. Remember at the time no one had seen one like it. Sold for only made 360 quid. Seems very cheap now, doesn't it, really? That was it. Says it was in superb, fully restored condition, lovely veneered cabinet, original gold crinkle finish top casting. A rare Rex Rotor, £360, February 2015. So you can see that top casting is the same as the console model. Sorry, is this countertop. But then wall mounted version as well, obviously with much smaller reels. Probably a completely different thing, but the same name, so it's quite interesting. Scruffy Abbott said even the coin slot is curved. Yeah, on this and on the console one. That up again, yep. Curved plate at the top of the machine. Very curvy machine. I remember thinking it was quite a smart looking thing at the time. Perhaps can't quite tell on the photograph, but even the bottom half of the console cabinet is curved in. I think the sides are curved. The actual front panel, i.e. where the power cover is, I think that is flat. I think then the curved sides stick out. If that makes sense. Well, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it was curved as well. I think it's flat. Look at the photograph. It's not easy to tell. Yeah, what a nice thing. So there we are. So that's interesting. 3 different versions of the same thing, with the same name. So, and then he's also sent us these couple of images of a trade stand. Schmitz and Gerds, is it? German. My German isn't particularly good. Of Cologne, with the wall machine version and the console version, and some other interesting looking machines. Quite a variety of pinball of some description. A big sort of console looking thing on the left of the picture. On the very right, it looks like a Rotomint, doesn't it? Look like possibly might be a Rotomint. So this one, and there's another one. We had 4 of the 4 of the countertop ones on. Whatever this thing on the extreme left is, and there's also one on the extreme right, the same kind of machine. Don't know what that is. The stripy bottom almost looks like it might be a jukebox, possibly, perhaps. Just in the bottom half of the cabinet, kind of looks like a bit like a, like a speaker grill or something. Not sure. Interesting thing. Any info, much appreciated. Then we can make some pages for them up on the website. Stick them up. This arcade picture. This is Paul sent us this one. Paul Mitchell. So this is Clacton. Gaiety Arcade, I think it is. Must be very early 70s. Got a sign outside that said Bingo 2p. That's all right, isn't it, for a game of bingo? Tuppence. Yeah, can't see much inside it again, but again, it's a good, you know, quite a nice location-y type picture. I don't know if it's still there or not. I've been to Clacton for years. I must go down. Yeah, obviously when bingo was quite a thing. A big bingo sign either end of their main canopy, and then the Bingo 2p out the front. So any more pictures of that anyone's got would be good. And this next one is one I found. I was rummaging around the internet looking for something or other, and came across this picture, which I thought would be particularly interesting to Pete Williamson. Pixieland. Now, Pixieland, I first thought, it's that working model we sold a few years ago. Dave Jason says, I think I put the spandrels on that. Oh, on that Allwyn? Oh, there you go then. Perhaps it's the same one in the picture. I think, Dave, you might be slightly behind the rest of us. But never mind. Pixieland. Yes, it's Pixieland working model. I thought, that's that one we sold a few years ago, unrestored. But it isn't. So if I go over here, if we go to what am I looking for? I'm looking for working models, electric working models, and I want this one. So I thought it was this machine. Just been, well, initially I thought it was the same one, and I thought, oh no, it's maybe it's been, you know, messed around with or painted out. If we show you here and go back to here again. So I did wonder, looking at the one we sold, this one, which says, what does it say at the top? See the leprechauns and fairies making merry in the Irish glens of long ago. I thought that had perhaps been overpainted one way or the other with Pixieland. Maybe Pixieland was first and so on. But more I looked at it, I know they're definitely two different machines. The cases are different. The artwork is different on the front. It's all hand done. But you can study it and see there's differences in the way the leaves are painted. They're very, very similar, but they are different. So yeah, two different machines. So I don't know where this one is. Can't remember where the photograph come from. It's just somewhere on the internet. And oh yeah, I'll take a copy of that down, but I can't remember where I got it from. So if anybody knows where that machine is, who is it, if you've seen it anywhere, let me know. I'm sure Peter would like to know, because he'd probably like to buy it to go with the other one. The other one's all restored now. When I get time to it, I'll go and take some new pictures and video it. a little, let's go back to the website again. Remember the little pixies went around on a kind of chain drive thing, but there was supposed to be a piece of glass there that was broken. I think it was all in bits. That restored. I think Jim restored it and restored the artwork. And they did the little pixie house open. I think I can't remember what happens now with it. Give us 1 penny and we'll dance, work and play. But it was signed, I was just reading the description of the one we sold. Unique leprechauns and fairies working model. The artwork to the front signed Bon Dale, 1951. The caption reading, see the leprechauns and fairies making merry in the Irish glens of long ago. For restoration, not been used in many years, appears to be complete. Internal painted glass panel that appears to have hidden the chain drive mechanism of the leprechauns is broken, but appears to be mostly there, so it could be copied. Which got done, yep, and it's now all nice and restored and up in Peter's arcade. So there we go. Thought that would be interesting. So I think that was it for the photos that have been sent in. There's more flyers and stuff I'm going to put up in the week, so perhaps I'll look at those on Tuesday. Some Crompton's stuff I managed to find. Of some machines I'd not heard of before. What have I done with those? I haven't uploaded them onto my thing, so I can't really show you as such. But some of the names might ring a bell, if I can find them. Hang on a minute, let me just have a look down here. And then some of you might say, oh yeah, we know what that is. And I've got a picture of it or something somewhere, or I've got one in my shed. Better still. There's some nice Mutoscope things I found. Penny on Ice, Crompton's Penny on Ice. Pushery type thing. Which looks rather nice. Penny Falls, apply for that. That's a Brenner Casino. It's an interesting looking thing. Streets Colour Armour, which is a machine I was trying to think of a few weeks ago when I was down at Paul's. Crompton's Cover the Spot. A Crompton's International Tote, big sort of horse racy thing. Ice hockey, Grand Canyon, used to have one of those, double pusher. A Crompton, what's this thing called? Gold Cup, huge thing, looks great. 10 players I think it is. I think there's 5 players either side, massive thing, with then like a vaguely kind of pinball-ish playfield in the middle of it. Anyway, great looking thing. Crompton's Cakewalk. 5 of that. Crompton's Big Time Roulette. With a remote action sweeper orbit playfield. What more could you want than a remote action sweeper orbit playfield? But yeah, it was Crompton's new penny, old penny, single player. It's quite an interesting looking thing. A Crompton Ace Race, great big round machine with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 player, I think it is. Oh no, 15 players, it says it on the flyer. Penny play, 15 players, huge round thing, roulette type machine. That's quite good. Crompton 6, it just says on the flyer, just a new number 6. 6-sided something or other. Not entirely sure what it is. Sort of, I don't know. It's a pushery thing or a spinny thing or what it is. Anyway, we'll have a look at that. What else flyers were there? Oh, an Alka little pusher, Lucky 10, a little four-sided thing made by Alka. And what else do we find? Where's my little picture gone? I turned myself off, didn't I? Here we are. I'm back. I think there was another pusher somewhere. Was it that one? No. Somewhere here. That might have been it on that sort of stuff. I'm sure there was another one here somewhere. I don't know what I've done with it. I'll find it. No, perhaps it wasn't. Perhaps it was it. Anyway, so there's quite a lot of stuff there to look at. I've got some good sort of Vegas-y pictures. They're quite interesting, sort of 50s, 60s Vegas-y pictures. Lines and lines of high tops and stuff like that. So I'll sort those out. They're quite good. Yeah, and then other stuff coming in. Let's just quickly go back over to the old website again and have a reminder of what's finishing tonight. Tonight, if you tuned in late, finishing tonight is spares, loads and loads of spares, and lots of coins, basically. Don't forget to get your offers in before midnight. Hopefully, I think everyone who's selling knows what to do. I think you've all sold before. Any problems, you know, obviously. And we'll get onto that. And there's these new bits this week. New batch of stuff that's just come in about an hour before we started tonight is over on our Instagram. I'll put a picture up. There's some very nice stuff there. Mills Lionhead, Extraordinary Pulver, Standard Chief, another Castle Front. Some nice trade stims, Kaylee, what do we call it? The Kaylee, top there, the red one. Nice Challenger shooter, good graphics down the sides of it. Triple Jacks, really nice stuff, all fresh into the country. All good locks, keys, everything, all working. Lovely batch of machines. So those I'll get up on the website this coming week. Getting the photographed and videoed and whatnot. So they'll be all for sale by the end of the week. So keep an eye out for that lot. It'll probably be Wednesday. I might try and get a couple done tomorrow. I've got a bit of a busy day tomorrow. Tuesday I'm going to be in Leamington at the Elephant House. So if you've got stuff to collect, deliver, whatever, I can meet you there on Tuesday. So probably from Wednesday onwards I'll get this stuff photographed and up on the website. So yeah, so that's that. If you're not following on our Instagram already, do so, because it's very handy for this like this. When stuff comes in quickly, I can just take a quick snap and get it up on the internet so you can see it before I've had time to properly photograph and video and whatnot. So just go to instagram.com/colcon.uk and you'll find us there. Anyway, back to the comments. What we heard. Julian says, if you want to add a picture of a Sega Crazy Bells to your collection, maybe you could freeze one of my videos and take a picture of it, as there does not seem to be one on the web. Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. I'll do that. I'll make a note. I can't remember hearing the Crazy Bells, but it sounds good. Sega Crazy Bells. I'll do that when we finish tonight, and I'll make a page for it. We can have a look at it on Tuesday. Thank you very much. I'll do that. Just make a note. Oops. There we go. Lovely. Thank you. That'll be good. I have also had a very interesting long telephone conversation today with somebody. who I can't name at the moment, but who has a very nice collection of stuff, which will be another documentary in due course. So that's another film to add to the collection. Don't know when. Might be this year, might be next year. Who knows? I'll want to get some other ones done first that are in the queue, as it were, to do. But yeah, there's lots of nice stuff there. But it's also got quite a big collection of photographs of machines on location that I can have as many as we need, as many as we want, to fill all the gaps up on the website. So that's good. So I'll crack on with that again, you know, in a month or two's time when I've got time to go and see the chap and collect them all in. Then I can spend many a merry night even, scanning away and getting those uploaded. There's quite a lot of stuff there we won't have on the website. Some early stuff as well, quite early stuff. Very interesting. It's always great to see stuff on site, as well as just in people's collections. So yeah, this whole thing of building up this picture archive seemed to have suddenly taken off and really captured people's imaginations. So that's good. I like that. And hopefully it will result in people seeing lots of stuff they'd like to buy. Whether we can find any of it or not is a different matter, of course. But, you know, also it might, people think, oh yeah, I've got one of those in the shed, I'll dig it out and sell it. Who knows? So that's good. Yeah, the collection, when we come to film it, the gentleman wants to stay anonymous, so that would be interesting. So sadly, you might have to put up with me fronting that one, so I can find someone to present it. But yeah, it's good stuff. More on that in due course. So there's that. If you haven't already seen the, I won't run the little video, but details are there. Go to the homepage of the website. If you haven't already had a look, put your order in. There's a little clip there of Paul's collection, and we'll be back down there filming in probably not this coming week because we're really busy with stuff to list, but possibly next week to film some more. That'd be good. Trying to get this done by Easter. What else do I need to tell you tonight? Let me think. So this coming week, as I say, Tuesday, Leamington Spa. I'm going to be there from about 11ish to about 3ish, probably at the latest, because I've got to get away. But if you want to collect stuff that you've already bought, let me know, so I put it on the truck, because everything's stored here in Cambridge. And equally, if you've got anything to drop off to sell, and it's easy to get to Leamington, then meet me there, not a problem. Otherwise, most of the rest of the week, I'll probably be here, Cambridge, if you want to come and look at anything, etc. Carrier is here next, I think next weekend sometime is due. You can always find it from our shipping page under the questions on the website. Yeah, 14th to the 16th is around this area, which is the end of this coming week. So if you've got anything you need shipping, his details are there on the page. Give him a shout, and equally you bring stuff into us at the same time. So there's that. Paul says he can't do Monday or Tuesdays. Yep, got that. What else? Yes. So keep on rummaging around, sending in stuff. If you've got flyers or photographs or anything of that ilk. If you're not able to, if you haven't got a scanner or anything to be able to get it to me electronically, then just get in touch sometime. And if you're coming to drop something off or if I'm in your area or something, if you don't mind me borrowing them, honestly, I can bring them home here and scan them in my nice big new scanner, and then drop them back to you or post them back to you or whatever when see you next. Because I think most people have got something. Half the time we don't realise what we have got between us. I think Gary is going to, remember the other night, have I still got them on here? I might have turned them off. We're on this lot. I can't remember where the pictures were. I had a whole load of advertisers. I think it was on the New Year's Eve one, wasn't it? Which were not the best of resolution, but it was some nice old advertising. I think they're on the New Year's Eve one, which I don't think I've got up here. I also have, is it this lot? These ones, yeah. Yeah, these World's Fair adverts. So Gary's going to lend me the World's Fair that he got them from. So I'll try and get some more detailed scans out of there. It's not easy with old newspapers because they're just not very good quality to start with, so there's only so much you can do, but we'll get this, you know, fiddle with the settings on the scanner and try and get the best picture out of them I can do, because they're quite interesting ads. Apart from anything else, it often gives us a date for something and solves the problem sometimes of who made something as against who sold it. So yeah, that'd be good. I've got a couple here myself somewhere. I don't know what I've done with them. Early coin slots, which I had a long time ago. I did sort of hold them up on one of the videos I did. I put them somewhere. And all the stuff, all the paperwork I've been having to deal with over the past few months, I don't actually know where I put them. They're filed somewhere randomly under something like MOTs or something probably. Because she got shoved in a file somewhere. Oh yeah, Winner Smile. We were trying to figure out what that was, wasn't it? Winner Smile machine. Almost looks a bit like the Crompton's Cover the Spot machine. Don't know. Back to the Brenco again. So yeah, so that'd be good. I'll just click these pictures up tonight. We'll just roll through while we're summing up. So anybody got any questions on anything? Need to know anything? I presume there's not really any questions on the stuff that's finishing tonight, as it's only spare parts and bits and bobs. Next weekend there'll be machines finishing. Peter says they're definitely two different machines. Oh, the two working models, yeah. Possibly by Peerless made them. And yes, I would like to buy it. I'm sure you would. I'll email you the picture. So I can't remember where I found the picture. I found it. I was rummaging around looking for something on the internet. Oh yeah, I've sort of forgotten I got it. But yeah, if you've got any pictures like these, arcade, I must have some somewhere, some of the arcades at Cambridge Midsummer Fair back in the day. I used to take those pictures when I was like 15 or something, I suppose. So it's going to be 35 years ago now. So some of those might be quite interesting. Paul says, can anyone remember a very, very popular AWP that came out in the 76? People would queue up to play them, mostly women. 3 years later, they were all scrapped. Don't know. The AWPs were never really my thing, so not. We had an odd one in one of the auctions a few years back that sold really well. Super Nudger or something. It seemed to get a lot of people very excited. Was that it by chance? I don't know. See if I can find it on the website. What would that be under? It would be under three-wheelers, I guess, if nothing else. I'm trying to think if it was, yeah, it wasn't the Elephant House. It wasn't pre-Elephant House. It was probably on here somewhere. Oh, this was one I was thinking of. This was a JPM each way shuffle, which looked like something I'd throw down the tip and have smashed some of them up. And it made £340. That wasn't that early though. I'll show you a picture of it. This one, each way shuffle. This was a JPM machine. February 2016 we sold it. Didn't look anything special to me at all. In fact, I think I reluctantly took it in, expecting it to make a fiver if I was lucky. I think I was going to have to take it down the tip myself. And it made £340. Apparently it was very desirable. Not very desirable to me, but there we go. So maybe it's one of those, don't know. Worth a lot more now, it probably is. But why? Is there something I don't know about it? Was it, don't know, first of something or special feature or something particularly interesting about it? I remember telling you, I don't know where I've told you not before on those sort of things. Let me just put tonight's pictures back up again if I can find the right button. They're going to continue, let you scroll through. Years ago, I did an advert for Quality Street. They brought out some new sweets one year. This is going back 30 years, thereabouts. And the concept they had for this advert was a giant fruit machine, and with their new chocolates on the real strips. I think there was 3 or 4 new chocolates they put into the Quality Street mix that year. It was quite a big thing for them. And somebody played the giant slot machine in the arcade, and their 3 or 4 chocolates, whatever it was, come up on the reels, and the thing spat out loads of chocolates. Simple enough. They wanted to film it on Brighton Pier. It had to be filmed August bank holiday weekend, of all times to film something. Brighton Pier then, say this was going back 30 years or thereabouts, wanted £1,000 a minute from when the first flight case rolled onto the pier to when the last one rolled off. So they said no thank you. They hired Elstree Studios, Elstree in London, over the bank holiday weekend. I hired them. I bought a whole load of this sort of era, these old AWPs. All they had to do was light up and flash. They didn't have to work. So this was all like to make the arcade with. I bought 30, I think, from Great Yarmouth, from the Pleasure Beach. All just broken down stuff. As long as it plugged in and lit up, that was good enough. Hired them to them for the weekend. They had this giant fruit machine built with all these chocolates in it. And yeah, so I hired them to the weekend. I paid the Pleasure Beach £25 each for them. I think it was £25 each. Hired them to this TV job for I think £125 each, and then smashed them up because nobody wanted them. They all went in Leamington Tip. So yeah, and I come away from the job from that with literally bucketfuls, 2-gallon buckets, 3-gallon buckets, whatever they are, of chocolates. And they said when I went to pick the stuff up, they said, "Oh, do you want some chocolates?" But yeah, if you like. They come up with bucketfuls of them. Great fun. So yeah, I was responsible for smashing up 30 machines, which are probably now worth a few £100 each. There you go. What can you say? Paul said, before that, I know one remembers, I'll tell you. Tuppenny Nudger, Each Way Nudger, yeah, well, that probably was all that sort of stuff. Those early 80 JPM Barcrest sell for £2 plus. Good grief. That's what they would have been, wouldn't it? So 30 years ago, takes us to about 1990, that advert was. and it was old stuff that the Pleasure Beach had thrown out. And I don't think they were known for buying brand new machines, shall we say. So it would have been that era of stuff. It would have been early 80s machines. I don't think I've got any photographs of that. The advert's probably on YouTube somewhere. If you look up Quality Street fruit machine or something like that, it'd be interesting to see the advert. I never did see it. Peter says, "I'll go back to the working model. His machine was in the John Gresham collection, yes, then sold to a collector, then in the Elephant House auction." That's it, yeah. So where that other one is or was, I don't know. June says, "Paul, what did it look like?" This is going back to this fruit machine. "I was well versed with the AWPs of the 70s. Loved the Bell Fruit Jump Jet, where you could move the middle reel where the feature came on. And Bally Duck Shoot and Bally Space Shooter. I've coin slots in the attic and a whole load of American mags from the 80s. Excellent. I might have to come and raid your attic." Upright fruit machine that came out before the Nudgers. Mr. Treefold, worth more than the Grand now, the Series 1. Yeah, well, there you go. See, I'm not being into these early fruit machines. It's mad to me that this stuff, this sort of stuff, which I say I literally smashed up and threw away, is now apparently worth more than 30s Mills Bandits are. Crazy, isn't it? But just the way things go. It's like furniture. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Didn't mean to press that one. Where am I going? I keep clicking the wrong button. This button, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, antique furniture at the minute. I've got a house full here of some beautiful Georgian, early Victorian furniture, which is at the moment is worth nothing. Nobody wants it. But if you've got 60s, G-Plan, Ercol, all that sort of stuff, it's worth a fortune, worth a lot more than this antique stuff is. I'm sitting at a very nice Victorian carved sort of Green Man desk. Worth bugger all. But again, you get a bit of G-Plan teak, you get hundreds of pounds for it. It's crazy. Don't understand it. Yeah, I'll have to try and have a search around and see if I can find that advert for Quality Street. And then you can all laugh at me at what a fool I was for smashing all those machines up. Remember, some went in the Leamington tip until we got caught. So there was Dave Hooper, and the rest of them got burnt up his field. When we got banned from taking them down the tip, we used to sort of put one in the back of a Volvo at a time and take it down the tip, smash it up over the wall. We think we kept the glasses. I think they went in one of the auctions, a whole big stack of glasses, made like 5 of the lot or something. Because I thought people might like the glasses. The things you do. And there's me saying, all those people that broke up all those, chucked the mutoscopes off the end of the pier and all that sort of thing, weren't they terrible? And it turns out I'm just as bad. Ho hum. This, just looking at the things, just stopped again on this. Let me go back one. This big Greyhound Derby machine. Oh, why doesn't my thing go? Because I haven't pressed the pause button. There we go. Those I think I mentioned the other night at the Canvey Island amusement park. We cleared a load of stuff out of there. The big building there that was the Dodgem track was full of massive machines like these Greyhound Derby type things, which we just couldn't get out, had no chance to get them out. Because again, all in front of that was all these later, probably JPM, Barcrest, all that kind of AWPs just rammed in there. We had to clamber over, literally walked on top of them. They were packed completely tight. You couldn't go between anything. We were walking 6 foot in the air on top of all these machines. And at the back was all this sort of stuff, big old Cromptons and Streets machines. Some great stuff. Even then you could see this is good stuff. This is just, you know, this ought to be saved. It's just so big. There was no way to get it out. And transporting it from Canvey Island back up to here, Cambridge, or to Dave's over at Warwick at the time, and then finding somewhere to store it. And at the time, nobody wanted it. It had zero value. You just had the feeling that it ought to be saved because they were probably the last ones that were left. And I think they probably were the last ones that were left. Just because nowhere else, I mean, you know, there are still odd Allwins and things, and Bandits and arcades here and there, and in storage, whatever. But this big stuff, of course, the space is too valuable. And it only got kept there because they had the whole park and didn't use the Dodgem track for anything. And that was just their kind of big storage shed. But that's probably the only possible places if there's any other amusement parks like that left. Can't think of any offhand. Where if they're already left, they're likely to be. Hey ho. So yeah, anyone else has got any more of these kind of picks, amusement arcade picks? I'd love to see them. I'm sure everybody else would as well. I think they're really interesting. Interesting at the same time, frustrating when you can't quite see something that you're trying to look at. But there's more on the way. And so that big collection to do sometime this year, I'll get around to doing it. Because there's a lot of nice stuff. I've seen some of the photographs and some really good pictures. So they will be nice to... why isn't this moving again? Click the right button. I'll learn how all this works eventually. There we go, so I'm running again now. Peter says, remember John Carter breaking up a Crompton's cakewalk pusher with a sledgehammer? Sounds about right, doesn't it? Yeah, I didn't break any of those up. We had a few, well, they were converted cakewalks. They didn't have the proper cakewalk cakewalks in. They were converted, like most of them were, to the standard sort of pushers. But we had 2 or 3 up at Botany Bay. And I like them because we sort of just about got away with having the pushers in there because they were kind of very plain looking with the wooden surrounds around the glasses. I think we bought the big one. Sorry, I think we bought the first one just to fill the space up. I mean, when Dave and I, when we first started that arcade up at Botany Bay, we took a 7.5 ton truck rammed full of machines, a lot of machines, up there. And it just went nowhere in that 4.5, 5,000 square foot, whatever it was. And it was like, oh, we've got to go and buy a load more stuff to try and fill this space up with. And I think you just... can't remember how we weren't looking for a big pusher. I think we went to somewhere to buy something else probably, and it was like, do you want that for 50 quid or whatever? And yeah, all right, that'll fill a bit of space up. Stuck it in there, and it just took loads of money, and we just couldn't fathom out because, like most penny arcades, we didn't change the pennies back, but people would literally spend, at the time we were £1 for 20 pennies. So they spend £1, get their 20 pennies, stand there and put 20 pennies in the pusher. Then they might get half a dozen out and they put them back in again, and then walk out. I'm like, this is odd. And we've got all these nice machines to play with. There was working models, there was mutoscopes, there was all the Weird and Wonderful Brian's machines and all sorts of stuff to play. No, they weren't interested in those pushers. And so then we bought another pusher and then another pusher, and we had probably half a dozen in there in the end. Very strange. That's what people like to play, but there you go. Julian, did anyone visit AMR in Avon? Great place. You had to climb over them too. Got some lovely glass fronts of Luxor machines. Great artwork. Not such a great machine though. AMR, yeah, I bought stuff from them when I had the pier. You know, stuff to operate. And I think we might have bought some stuff. Bought a couple of the electric shocker chairs from there, from AMR's. Yeah, they have a lot of stuff sort of right at the back, where it just stuff didn't sell and gradually gets shoved to the back as new stuff comes in and out all the time. Yeah, there was some quite interesting stuff in there. Is that the start? Are they AMR? Do you know if they're still going? I don't have the coin slot or anything these days, so I don't really have any dealings with the current trade, as it were. There was another big firm in Bristol as well, wasn't there? AMR's, and what was the other one called? Can't remember what they were called. JNC, that's it, yeah. I think JNC's was a bit more organised, which is the one of them's an operator essentially, weren't they? And it was they just sort of sold stuff, and everything they had in their own arcades was for sale as well. I can't remember which one of the two of them was principally an operator, the other one was more of a dealer. I think JNC is the operator, isn't it? I think, from memory. I remember ringing one of them up sometime to buy something and say, oh, that's in the 6 and 6, that's on the arcade floor. Oh, okay. So they're operators, but everything was for sale. Which was kind of a good way of doing it, because at least you could go on the arcade floor and see the machine was working. As opposed to rummaging up in the back of AMR's warehouse somewhere and not really knowing if that thing worked or not. Yeah, I assume both those firms are still going, but I don't know. So there we are. Any more from anyone? Anybody got any bright ideas or whatever? You know. Paul says, can't believe I saw a Fools and Horses push today in Sheringham. Fools and Horses pusher. I don't remember seeing that one. So I've found a flyer for the Compton's Grand Canyon, which I'll put up for Tuesday. I'll sort these flyers out, and I want to touch something because there's sort of some wrinkles in them. I'll try and touch them out on Photoshop so they're a little bit better images, where there's creases and holes and things in them. And well, that came from up that way somewhere, Sheringham Way somewhere, I think it was. I remember having to slightly modify it with a saw to get it in the back of my car. And it was winter and it was cold. I had it hanging at the back of the car with a Volvo with the lid wouldn't go quite down. And yeah, went from there to Pete Williamson's, I think, for a cup of tea or burger or something, probably. With it hanging out the back of the car, and then back home here to Cambridge. And that went up to, that was back in the Botany Bay, or bygone time days, when we were up there with the arcades. quite a good machine. I had that one for a while. It took good money. Hmm. I can't remember where that come up. Was it? That was up that way somewhere. There's on a big campsite, the arcade. It came out of. Julian says, no, I don't think AMR are what's still in business. But they were better than JNC. Got my Club Connect, Jackpot Jump Club, Monopoly 60, Lucky Strike Club. Don't know any of those machines. They're all, I say this later AWP stuff is a bit of an alien world to me. But yeah, we'll have to start making some pages for it all. Because it's apparently an awful lot more desirable and collectible than I realised. I did see, I think I mentioned it before, I came across a website of an arcade down in Kent somewhere. Hastings? No, not Hastings. Somewhere down in Kent. Of a lot of this early AWP stuff in. Which I'm sure one of you will know what I'm talking about. And it's one of those things at the time I thought, oh, that's interesting. I'll perhaps contact them, and just sort of forgot. It was one of those videos when I was aimlessly wandering around YouTube, as you do now and again. So I have to try and find that again. But they were saying on their website that they've got a lot of stuff there, this early AWP stuff, which, as far as they knew, and obviously they were reasonably experts in this stuff, is they didn't know of any other ones. Because again, it always got thrown away. And it's all kind of part of the history, and it's odd that we know more sometimes about earlier stuff than this later stuff. So in and out of the arcades, like I say, I'm not much in them to keep you in them. There's not, is there? This is my, I've said before, my issue with these modern arcades. It's just not, they're just not amusing. You know, how can you have an amusement arcade that's not amusing? The machines aren't fun to play. The modern AWPs I've never played, I just don't understand them. They're far too complicated looking things. You know, they are just hardened kind of gambling machines, aren't they? They're not fun machines. In fact, I can't even see, they don't even look fun if you know how to play them, if that makes sense. They are just pure out and out gambling machines. But yeah, whether they'll go back, it'd be interesting to see, because like what happened to the videos, I was only speaking to someone this afternoon, funnily enough, who came to drop something off, that you know, how video games really kill the amusement arcades, in as much as them being amusement arcades as such. So all the stuff, all the interesting machines went to make way for the videos. It was just throw everything out, get videos in, videos. Great for a few years, until the home consoles took over. And then why were the kids going to have to make the effort to go down the arcade to play the video game when they've got a better video game at home? And I wonder if the same will happen with gamblers. Will the hardened gambling lot that played fruit machines, do they now just sit at home on their iPad playing all these virtual gambling machines? Probably do. Don't know. So will there be another kind of you know, revolution in amusement arcades? Will they go back to being amusing, maybe? Will they go back to being more family orientated? Be interesting to see, won't it? What happens? Perhaps we'll get some pinballs back in the arcades. That would be nice. Peter says, some of my change machines came from J&C. Good to deal with, not cheap though. Yeah, I'd say back in, you know, when I had the pier up in Colwyn Bay, I bought, well, everything in the arcade came from J&C or AMRs. Or virtually everything. Including Peter, that strange UFO, what was that UFO weird machine I sold you? That came from one of them, big round thing. UFO. What happened? You launched rocket launcher, was it called, or something? They tipped the prize trays off. Quite a fun machine. Peter says, you're never going to win on a modern AWP as you're just playing a computer. Yeah, this is, I suppose that's kind of what I meant, because they are just computers, are the people who are really into them. A bit like the kids were with the video games back in the 90s probably, or early 2000s. Are they going to keep going to the arcade to play a computerized slot machine when they can sit at home on their fat arse and play a computerized slot machine? Why make the effort of going down the arcade? And it's cheaper. Well, not cheaper, but you'll lose money whatever you're doing. But you know, it's cheaper in the sense you haven't got to get in your car, park somewhere, go to the arcade, blah blah blah. You can sit at home and do it. Maybe they like the sensation of actually putting the money in and getting the winnings out, which I can't get from a computer. Don't know. It will be interesting to see how it goes over the next few years, I think. You would hope that some fun will come back, because as I've said, the only time to me it appears you see fun in amusement arcades is in redemption games. Some of those games are quite good fun to play, mostly based on older games often anyway, reinvented from the 30s through the 50s through the 70s and reinvented again into redemption games now. So they're at least fun to play, except when you spend a couple of hours with the kids getting loads and loads and loads of tickets and go up to the thing to exchange them and you get a lollipop for all that effort of £50 worth of playing and hundreds and hundreds of tickets. And then all they get is a lollipop, and that's, you know, that's kind of another whole subject really, isn't it? Why be so mean? Julian says, would love to go to, is it Southend Mr. P for the old AWPs? Any problem is I assume experts know when to play them and when not to. Southend Mr. P, I don't know. Sounds, yeah, could well be. It was down that way somewhere. I'll have to try and look it up sometime. But they've got quite a good website where they've got like each individual machine, kind of like what I'm doing in a way, but you know, a photograph of it and the date of it and one thing and another. Yeah. People wouldn't believe me when I show them an 80s Barcrest playing without a real mechanism in it. The mechanism just indicated if you had a win. Yeah. I've had it with me. We used to have it when you know, in the penny arcades, of people saying, "Oh, these old things, they were fixed. These old machines. Oh no, they're fixed. I'll play the new ones." I was like, "No, it's the other way around." I take the back off them and show them. Say, "Look, this is properly random. You pull the handle, the things spin round, and when they run out of steam, they stop. Essentially, there's nothing. It's got skill stop buttons on. You know, this is a random machine." And it's just purely calculated on the odds. There's 8,000 combinations, and so many are winning and so many are losing, etc. Whereas modern machines, they are computerized, and it decides whether or not you're going to win before you even put your money into it. And even when I was operating modern stuff on the pier, I used to show people sometimes, say, look, it says on the front there, look, it pays out, whatever it was, 91% or something. So that means every pound you put in this machine, you're going to get 91 pence back. You put £100 in, you'll get 91 pounds back, and so on. And I keep the other 9. Oh yeah, but I might win. I said, but you won't. It's not going to let you win. Even stand there and tell them, and they still put the money in. Bizarre. Julian says, used to like the machines on Paynton Pier until it was sold to another owner. Paynton, yeah, that was Paynton, Brenner's, wasn't it? How went Paynton? Was that Brenner's Pier? Peter, yes, rocket launch, a good money taker. Yeah. And just stop taking money. Whatever you put in it, stopped taking money. It went wrong and the parts were a fortune. Oh dear. It was a good thing. Again, that was kind of like a based on the Aaron's torpedo or bomb dropper, but kind of the other way around. Because it had, I had to try and find a picture of it. It had like rotating trays, several levels if I remember rightly. But you put a prize on, wherever you know, key rings or sweets or little toys or whatever. And I seem to think there was like 4 or 5 layers, big round thing, 5 foot round, 6, 7 foot tall. 4 players, I think it was. And you put your money in, press the button to launch a rocket with these rotating trays continuously rotating around the machine. And the idea was you timed it right so your rocket went up and just tipped the tray and tipped the prize off. Which is kind of the opposite way from an Aaron's bomb dropper, where it dropped the torpedoes or the rockets from the top of the machine to knock the prizes off the trays. It's again another machine that's just been reinvented of an old idea. But yeah, quite a fun thing. All sort of fluorescent pink and green plastic, if I remember rightly. Oops. We had a bar crest that emptied itself because a nearby lightning strike took out the compensated chip. I used to keep the floats on mine really low. So instead of having like £200 floats in them, they had like 25 quid or something. Because I was always thinking, if these go wrong and it spits out £200, that's not very good. Paul says, I won a radio on one in Coral Island. I won one of the rocket launchers. Julian, I joke with some of the American videos put up on YouTube where they just press a button calling them not real machines. No cash, no nudges, no skill, no gambles. Yeah. I just find it strange that how you know, online slot machines is the ultimate evolution of that whole thing, isn't it? I mean, how can you have an online slot machine with just symbols flashing up and down the screen? When they first came out, I couldn't fathom that anybody would ever play them. Who on earth is going to play a slot machine on the website? But it's a £1 billion industry. So what do I know? There's no crank down a handle on a nice old machine and you feel the whole thing tension up, and then that clunk as all the reels fire around and everything else, and it's clicking and clanking and hopefully spitting a few coins out. It was quite fun. I went to fill it again. I got suspicious. It was showing winning lines, but almost non-stop. Yeah. As I say, not knowing a huge amount about them when I operated them for a while. Modern-ish AWP. So mostly, they were all. I think they were all Barcrest, if I remember rightly, because I sort of stuck with one technology. I had Barcrest, and then was it Red Gaming versions or conversions of on Barcrest based machines. I'm sure they were Red Gaming, which they did well. They took a lot more money than the standard Barcrest, but I didn't know what I was doing essentially. Yeah, I had a sort of mate in the industry who could fix them if they went wrong. I'd be taught me the very basics. I can't remember now how to sort of set them up and set the hopper levels and things, but I didn't really know how they worked. I had no idea how to play them. But people put money in them, and there's always money in the cash boxes, so whatever. I worked out all the wins possible on my Sega Crazy Bell, and yes, it added up to over the 75%. I had my JWP set to quite high percentages. They took more money. Possibly, I mean, I suppose there I had sort of regular customers where you know, perhaps Blackpool front, where you're getting a constant swarm of day trippers, you can get away with very low percentages, I guess, because they're never coming back again. You just take the money and to hell with it. Whereas because all my customers were pretty regular, I thought it would be better to keep them happy and take a little bit off them, little and often. And that seemed to work quite well. Many online slots are a 96 return to player. Yeah, theoretically. But yeah, I mean, how can you trust anything that's got a program running it? You only need to know the very basic amount of programming of anything to realise you can make a computer do whatever you want it to do. And I'm sure the people who program the algorithms in slot machines are very, very clever, and there's no doubt huge amounts of research goes into it, and all that data from all those years of operating, and it's all down to the timing of reel spins and how often you get a almost win and all that kind of thing. There's nothing random about it at all. It's very, very, very clever. And all the live data that feeds in, because all the machines that are plugged into the internet. Years ago, I remember seeing down at the ATE show sort of demos of you know, you could have your whole arcade full of AWPs plugged into the internet. I haven't been to the show for 10 years or more, and all the data that come back, you know, all the live data from thousands of machines you might have out on site if you're a big operator. So you could instantly spot if a machine was slightly above or below percentage it should be and all that kind of thing, and do things remotely. If the machine was paying out too much, you press a button on the computer and it wouldn't pay out so much from 500 miles away or the other side of the world or whatever. Very odd. Why people play them. It says, when our collectors emptied the machines, the figures went into the office for each machine and were checked by computer. Any incorrect percentages were soon caught. Yeah, I think that was the kind of the selling point of this all when they started networking machines, plugging them straight into the internet for that kind of thing, I suppose. Catching out if any, I mean, I don't know, because that tech's beyond me, but I guess, you know, perhaps engineers were able to tweak things in the good old days in machines and make them appear to be paying out more than they actually were by fiddling with the coin counters in them and things like that. So they could pocket a fiver a machine, or I don't know. Your mind boggles, doesn't it? What could possibly be done? But once the whole lot were all networked into head office, they knew exactly what machine was doing and exactly how much was supposed to be in the cash box. Just send the collectors out, and they knew to a penny what was in each and every cash box in the whole estate of machines. Which is good. Stop fiddling. One of my Sega videos shows a feature before the feature was nobbled. I believe the law was changed in the very early 70s. Yeah, there was quite a few law changes, wasn't there? It was really, I suppose, as the electronics and early computing came into machines, early logic, there was quite a lot of legal changes through that period of time. Because, of course, up until then it was just random, very simple on the odds. You know, 3-reel 20-stop machine is 8,000 combinations, and it's very simple to work out. But as soon as you're able to put into place logic and predetermining odds and all that kind of thing, things got a bit nasty. And now, of course, you know, all these people that have lost their houses and God knows what else, racked up hundreds of thousands of pounds of debt on all these FOBT machines. There's things where you could do, you know, £500 a spin, click, 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 or £1,000 a spin, whatever they got up to, before the law was changed in the past few years. When my relief engineer covered for me, the payout percentages went up on every machine he visited. Everyone knew he was on the fiddle. Yeah. Yes, I think you can't kind of get through to punters that, you know, these percentages on these machines are very precise. So I had long conversations with people sometimes. So look, this machine, you can see on it, it says it's set at 87%. That means 87%, not 88, not 86, 87. Pound in, 87 pence out. Averaged out over however many plays, but. And they just, Don't know. Strange. Scruffy have been repairing a 70s Bell Fruit this past couple of weeks, and that had its meters hacked. Windows smashed, number reels poked with a screwdriver. Yeah, probably by a dodgy collector, I guess. Oh, sorry, I can't read the meter on that machine. The meter's broken. Justify cash out of the pay slide and step the cash out meters on. Oh yeah, I suppose you just bridge your wire across the meters, I suppose. Yeah, click them on a few clicks. I guess you can see the temptation if it was that easy to do, and if you had got a round of 100 machines or more. Yeah, just fiddle a pound out of each machine, extra £100. Lovely. Anyone remember Bell Fruit Picker Fence, 1970? Not me. I have to have a word with Ray Roberts up in Wales. I know he sometimes, I don't think he doesn't join in the chit chat, but I know he does watch the videos now and again. And he was an engineer for Bell Fruit, short for Bell Fruit, back in the 60s, I believe. He's got a few tales to tell. Next time I see him, perhaps I'll have to take my video camera with me and get him to recount some of his experiences. People probably find that quite interesting, I should think. I have to get some pictures of Ray's travelling arcade as well. He used to do all sort of around North Wales way with some nice machines in a big hoopla stall. Mm. But yeah, all this stuff, if anyone's got lists of these Bell Fruit machine titles, especially if they've got a date, is even better. I can add them all into the database, and slowly we'll fill them up. Hopefully find some images of them. And some of these, I say, a little bit further down the line, like these 70s arcade pictures. Some of these I think have got Bell Fruit machines in them by the looks of them. It'd be nice for those who can identify them to, when they're on the website, put underneath, oh, that's a such and such machine. The earlier stuff I know, but a lot of the sort of 70s stuff onwards, I don't know from looking at them what they are. But I know some of you do, which is the whole idea of this, really. So Bell Fruit Picker Fence, nope, to know. They didn't really, the Bandits, I mean, that's, the 70s sort of Bell Fruity stuff was in the arcades when I was a kid, but it just never really interested me. Even then, as a whatever, 5-year-old, whatever, I like the, I quite like pushers. Who doesn't like a pusher? but more the just novelty kind of machines, the different stuff. Things like the big Scalextric machines and the Derby racers and things like that. Anything that was kind of mechanical things going on in it. The roulettes with firing the ball round and the colour armour thing, which I found the flyer for the other day. All those more machines that had kind of more physical aspects going on to them, really. Things moving about. Whereas just 3 reels spinning around just wasn't much of an appeal. But, yeah. Shooting games, they were quite fun when I was tall enough to be able to play them. And of course the old hillbilly shooters. Loved those. Yeah, brilliant things. I'll find some flyers on those at some point. On the machines, there were When the Light Lights Up special wins. They were stopped. They stopped the guaranteed hold on next spin. On the machines, there were When the Light Lights Up special wins. Yeah, I know the sort of thing you mean, yeah. Like a guaranteed pay or guaranteed hold, yeah. So it's a bit like the future pay idea in a way of the 30s machines. The future pay on the 30s machines, there was a way to get around the gambling laws, wasn't it? Because it was saying, well, you're not gambling because you can see what the next payout is going to be. But then again, that was on every spin. Do you play the Sega Progressive where if there were no wins within 10, all 10 coins came back? The UK based, played this in Singapore, a feature was immobilised, all the units due to law change. Sega Progressive, yeah. I think we sold one of those. Did we sell one with all the bits working? It's quite a rare thing. Sega Progressive Star, yeah. Here we are. Sega Progressive Star. My phone's going a bit wonky. Yeah, 2015, 2017 was the last one we sold. 2015, yep, Progressive. Not a very good photograph, but you can see the meter in the top there. Which I think says 3 stars, pays out 100 coins plus the meter reading. Well, that's slightly different from what you're saying. Let's have a look at this one. Sega Progressive. I'm not sure that had a progressive feature on it. Double pay star. There's so many different versions of the Sega. That one's got a meter on the top of it. 2015 Progressive Star. I remember a huge multiplayer Le Mans racing machine with a figure of 8 tracks. Cars would change driven through the slots of track. Yes, that's the one I mean. Yeah, the big racing machine. There used to be one of those in the arcade in Wells. I used to love playing that. Huge thing. Julian, I'll go up into the attic and copy the JNC and AMR adverts for you, 1990-ish for my coin slots. Oh, marvellous. That'd be good. Yeah, earlier the better. So the good thing with coin slots is often you can date a machine pretty accurately when it came out, because when it first appeared in coin slot. Of course, often stuff was sort of January for the ATE show, was when it was new stuff got released each year. But yeah, quite interesting to see. Yeah, the big yeah. I was trying to find a flyer for that. I'm sure what did I see? Something like that with the racing thing. Just looking at my stuff here, I've got to sort out and upload. Something similar I was thinking of. Can't think what machine it was now. Yeah, not that one. Yep, those big races were Whittaker's, I think. Remember rightly? The sort of the Scalextricsy one. I think might have been Whittaker's. Corrigan's had one. I think it was there when that 1968 picture was taken. Yeah, it's probably about then, because I remember it very young when I was 5, so it's mid-70s. In what's its arcade in Wells, the big one on the front that burnt down. I had some good stuff in there. Just like that arcade, because it was a bit, everything in there was a bit old and tired, and there was some interesting stuff. Yeah, I remember I had a chance to buy one, didn't. I bought some stuff out of a travelling arcade, and there was one, and it was just too big to move. Huge thing. So I don't know, what, 8, 10 foot long, something like that. Absolutely massive. And yeah, I think it got smashed up because the arcade was being cut up for scrap basically. And I bought some bits and bobs out of it, and the big car race thing was in it. And they're like, well, we just smash it up then if nobody wants it. So that was one that went. Jim, Mattings Wells or Granary? Yeah, like the Granary building on the front, facing the harbour, rather than the one around the corner. They had the fairground organ and stuff in, and the names in a minute. Yeah, the great big puppet machine out the front and all that lot. Maltings, yes. Because Mayfield made a lot of big arcade pieces in the 60s. Yeah, it seems to be the Mayfield stuff seems to kind of, I don't know, it's not a name I was really aware of, and doesn't seem to be much info on. Where, Cromptons and Whittakers and Streets are relatively familiar to people. Mayfield seems to be not so commonplace, but they seem to have been quite busy at the time, interestingly. So whether the stuff was not very reliable or whatever, I don't know. Why hasn't the Mayfield stuff lasted? It doesn't seem to be much of it around. Need 2 tailbacks back to back to load, or what, the big racing machine? Yeah. think it had 4 cars. The 4 chains must have taken a lot to drive them. Yeah. Massive Perspex dome, huge, big, long top flash light up. Perspex top flash on it. Yeah, I wonder if there's any of those survive. Probably not. So that one, no, I wonder what happened to that one. So the one I could have had and just couldn't move or put anywhere got smashed up with the arcade it was in. I haven't seen one on site since I was a kid. But I guess there might still be one somewhere. Don't know. Junior, if you ever get a Seagull Progressive full of strawberries, not the one you showed, a different one. Don't know. There's only 2 on the site that have gone through my hands that I'm aware of. Yeah, big arcade, would love to see one again. Yeah, I would actually. So there's some of these other Cromptons things. So I'll sort out, well, it'll probably have to be tomorrow. I'll try and sort out some of these Cromptons flyers and things ready for Tuesday night. Because, I need to sort of resize them and touch out them, or just touch them up a little bit, try and make them look a little bit better. But there's some quite interesting stuff there, but massive machines. But some stuff I don't remember seeing and playing. It'd be interesting to see what other people remember of it. But there are a few videos on YouTube from the 60s showing Crompton's trade stands, amusement shows. Oh, I'm not sure I've seen those ones. I've seen a few bits and bobs. The trouble with all that video is it's usually licensed to somebody like Getty or Holton Deutsch or whoever, and they just want so much money to use it. I'd love to use some bits in Paul Mitchell DVD, because the machines he's got that are probably in these clips of the 60s, and it'd be great to show the two together, obviously, but I don't think we're going to be able to do it just because they want thousands of pounds literally for 10-second clips, unfortunately. Unless anybody just happens to have got some somewhere in their shed of some old cine film or something, which is probably unlikely, but you never know. It's up there. See an orange top box. I doubt if there is one in this country, but if you ever come across one with the feature working, I want it. Ah. Oops, go back to these things that are flicking through again. There you go, I think it is. Paul Mitchell, Mayfield machines were big. I think they made a 12-car racing machine. Wow. And the tax change in 1968 to every slot being taxed, they went bust. Cost more for a year's tax than to buy the machine. Oh, these were taken from Jim Crompton's Cine collection. If we can find a connection to Crompton somewhere along the line, then there's a vague possibility, maybe. If anybody knows anybody in the Cromptons family, I don't, but maybe somebody does. It's got a contact. It might just be a way that we can get to use some of that footage. I'm also just going to look at Mayfield tax. Yeah, one of these flyers, this big Crompton things. It was a 15-player. Oh yeah, the Ace race, massive round thing, 15-player. That's like the big round thing. If you remember me saying the other night, I remember selling something back at the Elephant House, not at the recent Elephant House auctions, but years ago when I did one for Dave Hooper there, Big Clear Out. We sold a huge round machine, and I remember the playfield span round, lifted up, span round, not on motors, on big electromagnets, really clever. Spun round and then dropped down to determine the payout, and I think it was football themed. And I remember it went off to Holland. They put it on edge and rolled it into the back of a giant high-top Sprinter van. But all worked perfectly. It was sort of blue Formica. Yeah. So it was the same machine, different theme, or been rethemed perhaps. I'm not sure if they made different themes of it. So yeah, Ace Race, that particular one's called, that I've got a flyer for. During Star Sega Payback. All right, Payback. Well, any of these sort of things, if you've got something that I can make a page on the website, if you've got an image from somewhere, if you can find one, email it to me, and I can put a page up on the website, and then you can put a wanted advert on it against it. If you're sending emails, stuff, email images, etc. to usually when I put this email address in, it splits it up. If I just put like this, all one word, or obviously just send a message through via the website. You can't at the moment send pictures via the website. You will be able to when I get around to organising it. But yeah, send anything to news@elephanthouseauctions.com. If you've got images, scans of things, whatever, links to anything anywhere. Peter, I remember that machine where the playfield lifted, rotated, then dropped back down. No idea what it was. Yeah, Crompton's. So the Ace Race, the one we sold was football themed, I remember playing, but I don't know if it's just been a re-theme of the same machine. But I'll get this flyer up for Tuesday night. But huge thing. I remember being really impressed with the engineering when I looked inside it, because it was, as I say, the spindle down with then magnets on and a row of or a ring of electromagnets around it, and it just pulsed them alternately to get the thing spinning. So there's no motors in it, and the thing just run continuously, cycle continuously. So one big motor magnet lifted it up to spin, and then it dropped down, and obviously just hit a switch or whatever to make the payout. It's really such a simple idea. It's so well executed. Oh, there we are. Paul says Compton's made cards, horses, greyhounds, and football teams. Yeah, the football was the one we sold, and the flyer I've got here is cards. The Ace Race it's called. I don't think I'll have a photograph of the one we sold, because it was kind of back in the days where we just didn't photograph everything. If and when I can find the old auction catalogue, you might have a photograph in. Clever stuff, yeah, it was. It was just a really good design. Again, obviously one that fell foul of the tax changes with all the slots. It's got 15 slots on it. Again, like the what's the, I keep calling it the UFO machine, the colour machine thing that I've got, which might come home this week. Player numbers were also reduced down on it to get around the gaming tax. It was car thing, a bit like how some monorails work with electromagnets. Yeah, that same idea, kind of floating it up on a magnetic field. Paul says the coin lockout gate didn't work. You could drop your penny in just before it dropped down to get a win. Oh right, yeah, of course. If it stopped on a 5 or whatever, and you could, if the lockout wasn't stopping your coin going in the 5 slot, try to time it correctly, the machine stops on 5, quickly drop your coin in, register it on that 5 payout relay. This big round machine, this Ace Race 15 player thing, I'm trying to remember if the one we sold came originally from Watermouth Castle, or if Watermouth Castle also had one. And if so, even if they might have still got it, I can't remember. It's years since I've been down to Watermouth. I did ping Jonathan Haynes' email the other day, actually. I haven't heard back from him yet. He might be on holiday or something. It says, yeah, that worked on a few machines with faulty lockouts. It's a bit of a design flaw, isn't it, really? It's funny in a way when something is so well designed that there's then such a simple flaw to be exploited. I suppose the thing is when they built them, everything was brand new and worked flawlessly. It's only when those little coils burnt out or a solder joint went bad or something some years later that problem materialized. Yeah. Interesting stuff. So this little Alka Lucky 10 pusher. It's a dinky little thing. Does it give the dimensions on there? I can't quite see on the flyer. Let me just zoom this up a little bit. You won't see it on your screen at the minute. I've got to upload it. Yeah, it's only 4'10" high, 3'7" wide. 4-player. It looks like is it Crompton's made a little 4-player one? Apollo, was it? Kind of shape. I think it was Apollo. Something like that. Seems to ring a bell. This flyer, interestingly, Lucky 10 is available in 25-cent and 10-cent plays. Obviously made for the American market. Although it's got Alka Electronics of Oldham on it. No American distributor. Looks very 70s. Just from the typefaces and things. The 16-player had a winning position every 4th place it stopped in. All right. Those lockouts are very irritating when they start to buzz. Some are disconnected. Maybe that's what it was, I guess. Yeah, buzz, buzz, buzz. Cut the wire. Sega Payback is on the web. All right. Let me see if I can find it. Copy. Where can I put a thing that's not going to interfere with anything in a minute? Let me try it on here. Oh dear, see what I get. Search only for in. If I can find something. Something's coming up. I was hoping for a image. Not going to give me an image. I think there might be a detail about it there. Let me go to Google Images. Google Images. Search. Sega Payback. It's coming up with all sorts of weird things. Modern games. I have a rummage around. Send me a link because it will probably be easy than you trying to find it and end up with the wrong thing altogether. Payback gun. That was interesting. Yeah, and there's there are a couple of quite good informative websites about all the Sega stuff. It's very complicated. I think I said before, you see a lot of bandits over the years. The mechs have been swapped, the top flashes have been swapped, and the badges have been swapped. So you get a Siemens Sega Diamond Star case with a Progressive Star top flash and a Mad Money set of reels in it or whatever. So they're right mishmash of not quite what they're supposed to be, which apart from anything else makes it tricky to know what page of the website to put things on. So I'll have to try at some point to put a definitive list together. The information is sort of out there on the 2 or 3 Sega sites. Definitive list of all the machines and try and sort out all the stuff we've sold as best we can over the years into the right sections, as it were. Oh, yeah, excuse me. Is it late? Good grief, look, it's 10:30. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? I should probably go to bed and do something. I.e. get some sleep and get up tomorrow. Night, Peter. Didn't realise you were still here. Time has flown, isn't it? Yes. I think we'll probably better call it a night then. I didn't realise it was quite that late. 10:30. Not that I mind. It's good. Good old chat. Some interesting stuff. I learnt a few things tonight I didn't know before. It's always good. And yeah, we will try our best as time goes on to kind of collate all this information. As I keep saying, everybody knows bits and bobs of things, little snippets of information, and you all know more than you think you do. And as we start to bring all this information together, which obviously starts with making the appropriate page on the website if you haven't already got one for whatever particular machine it is, then let me know. I can make the page on the website and then we can try and find an image for it. Some details about it, when it was made, who made it. And hopefully, in an ideal world, obviously you actually find the machine somewhere, somebody's got one, which you can get some photographs of, perhaps some photographs of the mech, some video of it running, and so on and so forth. And maybe we can track down some of this elusive, relatively late stuff, which we're all discovering is an awful lot rarer than we thought it was. You think of, you know, pre-war stuff being rare, but actually it's, well, it is rare, but it's often there's 2 or 3 of them around, known about in people's collections somewhere. But it turns out a lot of this 60s stuff, 60s, 70s stuff, none of it exists as far as we know. And it's kind of an interesting phenomenon, isn't it? The earlier stuff survives and a lot of the later stuff doesn't. Anyway, so yeah, so I think that's it for tonight. Thank you all very much for all your contributions. Much appreciated by all of us, I'm sure. Seeing what other people can find and what bits and bobs they've got. So keep it all coming in, and I'll do my best to sort of get it together. So all the stuff, or well, not all of it, most of it that I can will go on the website in due course when I've built the pages out to put it on. So, and you know, like these pictures of the arcades, I'll try and do the best I can to get as good an image out of them as I can. I zoom in a little bit and try and adjust the contrast and things in Photoshop to try and get as much detail so we can see what's in there. And hopefully over time, more images will emerge, or information. People will say, I know where that is, that's so-and-so, or you know, that arcade was owned by such and such a person, and so on. And it's all quite interesting stuff, I think. So there we are. So night all, I'll be back Tuesday with the results. Don't forget your stuff's finishing tonight. If you haven't got any offers in on all these spares and coins, get them in. I'll be back Tuesday with the results on those. I'm in Leamington Tuesday daytime, around lunchtime, if you want to come over there. Anything else, ping us a message. And we will go from there. So I'll just finish it off on here, and I'll put next video Tuesday night with, oops, can't spell as usual, night with sale results of tonight's sales plus more archive stuff to look at. There we go. Super. That's it, I think. I'm desperately in need of a cup of tea, My tea's empty. My glass of whatever it was I had was empty. Need a cup of tea and some sleep. We'll do it all again very soon. That's it. Night all. Have a good one. Thank you very much. Over and out.